Okay, good morning, everyone. We're here for the Community Design Review Committee for the Village of Airmont, Thursday, August 15th at 11 a.m. Our first applicant is the Hillside Yeshiva Campus at 32 Hillside Ave for proposed yeshiva with a dormitory, and they provided a proposed sketch plan for discussion. And I believe we have one or two people on.
Hello everyone, so Shlomo here. Just to introduce the project kind of quickly. The project's on 32 Hillside. It is a R50 zone. There's two properties there that we would like to build two buildings on, one a yeshiva building and the other one a dormitory. And essentially we just provided a sketch to the CDRC because we would like to open up the discussion, to hear feedback from so that's really what we have to open up the discussion. Also usage for the building, we have 200 people. We expect 200 students or 200 people, I would say, and 100 students in the dormitory. So, and we would like to hear as much as possible so that we can progress in the project in the right direction.
Were you able to receive the two letters I sent this morning? The one from the Tolman Fire Department and the other one from the village planner, village engineer to review?
Yes, so
Okay.
so we took a look at them. Some of it was like, we need an engineer on board, so that obviously we're gonna do. But we wanted to get direction. That's why we set up this meeting before we got an engineer. So yes, that, and then we also got from the fire department, we got a letter as well. Took a look at that as well. I have actually one question on that.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I noticed in terms from the fire department, there was no public water. We're just wondering what is the approach to that? Like what happens if we decide to build a couple of houses there? Is there no means for fire retention system? There's not gonna be fire pumps there. What would happen in such a scenario? And then that was one question we had, and really the other thing is really just to hear feedback from the CDRC.
All right, Lou, I'll let you maybe answer that one if you can.
Sure. If you're building single family houses, there's no requirement for a fire sprinkler system. So we run off of a normal well.
Got it. And we can't use that for a larger building?
For a school, you need to supply a sprinkler system. We actually reviewed a school further up the road on Hillside that required a 12,000 gallon holding tank in the basement to run the sprinklers for 10 minutes. And the school was about half the size of what you're proposing. So you would need multiple tanks because you have two separate buildings to hold enough water so one, you'd have to cover the dormitory and the other one would have to cover the school building.
And if I can interject, do you know approximately how far the nearest public water main is from this site?
All the way down the road in Chestnut Ridge.
So miles or thousands of feet?
Several thousand feet.
Couple thousand feet.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't remember what the proposal was. There was talk of bringing a main up Hillside with the MIGFA project. But I guess that the number was high enough that the MIGFA project ended up drilling 12 wells instead of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So I'm assuming that if when we get our engineer on board, they're going to have solutions to this, or this is something that they're gonna anticipate.
yeah, and if I can interject, so when you propose a facility of this size, it falls under the jurisdiction of a public water supply. Per the state of New York, it doesn't matter if it's serving a private entity or a public entity. It goes by the number of people that are using the water supply. And so this would be subject to the the Rockland County Health Department and the state of New York for a public water supply. So that requires multiple wells, an additional well with other wells out of with the largest producing well out of service, monitoring, treatment, and so forth. Unlike a residential well, which is not considered a public water supply. So it really, if this is a serious project, should really look into the feasibility of connecting or doing a water main extension from the closest water main to this site.
Thank you. Any comments regarding the building itself? You know, the idea of putting yeshiva and a dormitory?
So I believe that as far as the use, it's permitted in the zone. As far as the site plan is concerned, from my end, I mean, internally, Lou may want to talk about inside the building, but as from a site plan development, it's pretty much impossible for me to determine, you know, what you need and don't need. I put some general comments in my review, but like we can't even really determine how many variances or what variances would be required based upon the sketch. Because things like required parking versus proposed parking, side yard setbacks, things of that sort, it really isn't too clear on the plan to be able to make that determination. So pretty much my comments note that it's too premature with this application to really make any sort of determination. The calls for the EAF indicates there's wetlands on site. So if there are, they need to be located because we have to make sure that we're not disturbing that area or minimally disturbing that area. It will require a full stormwater pollution prevention plan. Your engineer will know that. Lot line consolidation is going to be required. But basically, the rest of the engineering comments say that, you know, you really need a detailed grading and drainage plan, a lighting, landscaping plan, a stormwater management plan, a utility plan showing water sewer connections. Or if you elect to go to a public water supply, a plan showing how you're going to provide water, both fire protection and for domestic consumption. So that's about all I have. There's really not too much more I can comment on because the plans are just very, very generic.
I agree with that. The plans are, I tried scaling on some of the plan. I mean, I think you have an enormous amount of paved area here that we really don't need. But unusually, one of the entrances to the school is large and one is small. If you're looking for fire truck circulation issues, you're gonna have to review that with the fire company because you have one driveway that looks like it's about 28 feet wide and one about 14. So you might want to scale it back a bit, try and cut back on some of the paved areas and calculate in there the circulation for the fire truck and the access route for the fire truck, where the fire truck connections are going to be. And based on the size of the buildings and the size of the school, they may want a private hydrant on site, which I don't know how you're going to do that without running a water main up to the site. So these are all things that you're going to have to review.
Okay.
I just see a box, so I don't know how many. I don't have any description of the buildings or what's in the buildings. How many floors? Is that actually 2 floors above grade or 1 floor below grade? Is it going to be a 3-story building? I don't have any information, so I really can't make any determinations without that.
Okay, yeah, at this point, we're not so sure yet. We wanted more of an overall direction, so far, we've been, everything you gave us was helpful. We appreciate it.
I will email the fire turning maneuverability plan, so you have the sketch for your engineer. I'll send that over after the meeting.
All right, okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody have anything else?
Okay.
So I guess they need to do all these updates that you request and come back to CDRC. Is that it, team?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they got to come back with a much more detailed plan if they decide to proceed further.
Yeah, I think the most important part right now is securing a source of water. You're gonna need it for domestic, for the dormitories, and for the fire suppression system. So you're gonna have to figure out how you're gonna get a guarantee of that amount of gallons coming in per minute.
Sure. Okay, perfect. Fine. Okay, thank you all.
Okay,
Really
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Have a good
Thank you so
day.
much. Thank you.
Okay, the next application is Yeshiva Talbot, 83 Campbell 2.0. And why we say 2.0, it's because this is a separate application from the original that was withdrawn. So it's a smaller school. It's a proposed school of religious instruction, and they provided a sketch plan for discussion. And I believe we have the applicant's attorney on, Paul Baum. Hi, Paul.
Good morning, Suzanne. Good morning, everybody. So, here's the, revised plan that, is replacing, the last one that we had. I have John's comments, which I guess are, I don't have any issues with. So we just wanted to, like the first applicant, get your feedback on the plan so that we could finalize a layout and start doing more detailed drawings with regard to all the other issues, lighting, drainage, grading.
Did I
Paul,
send
can you, what are the
Tolman
differences?
Fire? I'm sorry, John. Did you get the Tolman Fire memo I got this morning?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
I just want to make sure. Thank you. Sorry, John.
I was just wondering if you could quickly just what the differences are between the old plan and the new plan? Just
Well,
so everybody knows.
The old plan, if you see, there was a one-story garage that is further, I guess, north towards Campbell Avenue when the proposed school is. The original plan was going to take that garage building and basically expand upon it and create the school in there, as well as having some classrooms and offices up in the existing one-story dwelling to the west of the site. We had issues, as you recall, with the grade for circulation for fire trucks getting in and out. And the applicant went back and has redesigned the plan to provide, different access. We're going to build a new school building and not try and incorporate the barn building, and that will be eliminated. The existing pool and one family dwelling that were, I guess, approved as part of the Zen Garden site plan, they're also going to be removed. And the existing house is going to remain as a caretaker's quarter, so it won't be used for any sort of school uses, classrooms, offices, or anything like that. And then we have a freestanding gym that's going to be behind the school. So we think this plan provides for adequate fire truck circulation. We put in this turnaround per Appendix D, and it's nice to see that the fire department didn't have any comments with regard to that. The rest of this stuff will, resolve with our next submissions. And their big issue obviously was the parking. I know, John, you had comments on the parking, but we all know, we've been through this. The parking requirement is just so excessive, beyond what the needs of the school are, based upon the fact that they have rotating staff. It's a small size school. Students don't drive. So it's more parking than we need. I know the comment is to add some additional parking. I guess we could probably find some room for additional parking, but it's only going to increase the development coverage. So, we're out of a balance there. Do we provide more parking that we don't need and increase the development coverage, or do we just limit the development coverage for the parking we need? So that's where we are with the plan. So I appreciate, any further feedback, especially from Lou, with regard to building and fire issues and things that most of us don't really consider when we try to develop these plans as much,
The only comments I had, or questions I had, actually were, what is the distance between the wetland buffer and the back of the proposed school building? Because it's only 55 feet total, and I thought the village had a 100-foot wetland buffer.
Yeah, you do. As John notes out, we're going to need a wetland permit because we're disturbing within 100 feet, that 100-foot buffer.
Okay. The other thing I noticed is the hammerhead T turnaround you put in is a little narrow. It's neck down. On the, let's see, which side is that? The south side. So you might want to think about widening that up because you're going to hear complaints about trying to swivel a truck in there. Otherwise, the parking looks good. Still no details on the school building. How many floors is it?
I believe it's going to be a 2-story, but I have not seen the architectural plans.
So you're gonna have to get a water line back there somewhere. Because it's gonna have to be sprinklered.
Correct. I'll leave that to Rachel to deal with.
Is the
Oh.
gym gonna be sprinklered as well?
Is it required to be sprinkled?
No, it's not. Unless you're using it as a classroom, it's not.
So I guess if it's not required,
And we're not doing it.
then we don't want to do it unless it's necessary for
Got it.
fire department standpoint, because it's, it's so far away from
Right.
an access point that from a fire safety standpoint, they want it to be sprinkled. So
Yeah, I'll have to measure the distance from that building to the nearest place they can get a truck or a hose. It looks like it's close enough.
Moshi, is it going to be 2 stories or 3 stories?
Gonna be 2 stories and a basement.
So it's 3 stories. So you're gonna put a basement that close to the wetlands. Are there gonna be classrooms in the basement?
No,
What's
Just-
it?
a lunchroom, a kitchen. Big open area, basically.
Hmm.
The second 2 floors are not gonna be full floors. It's gonna be a big shul, so it's gonna be up to the roof. It's gonna be a high roof of 20 feet, and then half a story will be divided into floors.
So there's gonna be a shul in part of the building and then classrooms in the rest of it?
Yes,
Is that shul gonna be for public use or just the school?
just school. We're not providing any hall or any public area for the public.
Not renting it out as a Shabbos shul on weekends?
No. I suppose there's a new shul coming on Campbell. No, I'm still on planning board, I guess.
Yeah,
We're not part of their community, and we're not planning to have a Shabbos. We don't have a Shabbos yeshiva, so
okay. Otherwise, that would affect the parking.
I know that's why this is one of the main reasons. And also, we finish school at 8:30 p.m. and it's not worth it to have. We don't have such late events, so we're just not doing that.
That's all I have.
John, did you have anything else? Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
I just saw you.
Step away for a sec. Nothing else. Definitely need to come back to another CDRC with some more detailed plans.
Okay.
And John, just for clarification on your engineering comment too about verifying buses. We're not going to have buses. It's going to be private passenger vans that
Okay.
will bring the students in because they're coming from different areas. So they'll be using smaller passenger vans that'll be private to the
Are
drop-off.
those the ones, how many passengers can those take? So like
Usually 14.
14, so, okay, so I guess if you could put that note on the plans so that, because if we don't need to worry about larger buses, those can back up. But, so I don't have an issue, but, I just want to make sure that it's clear on the plans that buses won't be coming, they'll be passenger, student vans, basically.
Okay. Good. Let's see, anything else that I had on yours? No. water and sewer, fire truck. Yep. I think we're okay. Rhonda, I know you're just sitting in for Rachel, but do you have any questions of John regarding his comments or any?
No, I think his comments are pretty generic. They're basically just asking for more information, which is understandable.
Yep. Okay. All right, I guess we've heard what we need to hear. We'll go back, we'll revise these plans, we'll add the details, and we'll make a full submission back to CDRC to get another review before we go to the planning board.
All right, thank you.
We good?
Good.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
You too.
You
Thank
Me too.
Okay, the next application is Central UTA of Muncie, 236 Cherry Lane. For a new 3-story classroom building with a basement. We have a proposed amended site plan, architecturals, and other items submitted.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
I did not get an updated fire department letter. Ira, I only got John's letter. The last letter was from 7/7 that we received for the last CDRC meeting in July.
I did meet with the fire department on Friday. They said that all their comments have been addressed and they will send out a letter.
Okay. I think the one gentleman just went on vacation, but
Yeah. Corey said he was going on vacation on Sunday, so he didn't know if he'd get it out before he left or not, but
okay. I'll circulate it once I receive.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Rhonda, you want to go through this? They don't want to hear from me.
All right, so we've updated the plans. Looking at John's comments, one thing that was not clear on my plans, and I apologize for that, is we've reduced the amount of land bank parking that we are proposing. On some of the plans, the land bank parking was still in the back, but on the other side of the stream. And that should have all been removed. So we're only keeping the land bank parking that is on the our side of the stream. And we'll have a total, I think it's 250 parking spaces, including all the land banked.
How many are land banked, Rhonda?
Hang on.
Thanks.
I
I have it in the record.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I lost the drawing. It's
All right, don't worry
it's
about
not
it.
here anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, I got it. I'll look it up.
All right, don't worry about it. We'll probably go over it in planning
Yeah,
anyway.
it's significantly reduced from the last time. The number of land banked.
Okay, I got it. It's we are providing 220. Sorry, it looks like 228 paved parking spaces plus 82 land banked for a total of 310.
Thank you.
And that will require a variance because the zoning code is set up to require variances for almost any school. And that's something that I wish all the communities in this county would take care of.
Yeah, I mean, the required parking spaces is 593 for this size building, but these buildings combined, they feel that they really only need about 250 parking spaces. We are, like with the land bank, providing 310. I think that's all I really wanted to make clear. The lot coverage calculation was updated to include the land bank parking that we're now proposing.
Okay, so we do need a variance for that, correct?
Yes.
We have to assume that all land banking parking spaces will ultimately become parking, so.
Right. So yes, that's included in the variance required for the development coverage. So that if they are ever built, that we still have that coverage. Yes.
All right. So that takes care of a number of comments. There was, and maybe I missed it, I only know what I get electronically, but there was a traffic study, and the village traffic engineer was gonna review that, and if they did, I didn't see it.
I haven't seen it either.
I haven't either, and it's been a couple of months now.
Okay, so, I don't know, maybe Suzanne can just, resend it to, Osmond, and maybe they didn't get it, and see, I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss it. And then, going through the other comments, we talked about land bank parking. So there is it's a fairly big box culvert on the plan, and I know the plan was designed by others. It was not designed by Civil Tech. But I want to make sure that when this site, and assuming this site gets built, that we have a plan on file that gives that size of that thing, because it's pretty big. It's a pretty big box culvert. And that some engineer somewhere along the line designed it. So that's pretty much what comment 10 says. And then the SWIP, we did get a chance to review the SWIP. So there's some comments regarding stormwater coverage, the ENOI, draft ENOI. It probably doesn't make much sense to everybody else except the engineer, but the SWIP components, looks to me like your 100-year evaluation overtops the top of the chambers at elevation 443, so we need to check that. And
Which system was that? Do you know? Because there's 3 systems proposed.
okay, so I don't know.
You know what? I'll just take a look at it.
Take a look.
I'll
but
get
it
back
like
to you on that. Yeah.
It was the invert was set at, I want to say 432, and then the 443 was the peak, which is 9 feet higher, which, that's 3 feet higher than the top of the chamber. I think you have 6-foot high chambers. So you need to take a look at that. And that, and then the big thing is, infiltration testing. This comes up a lot, especially on the larger sites. On the smaller sites, you do have options, but on the larger sites, it creates a problem because the testing has to be done at a depth of 7 feet. You have a 5-foot deep chamber, and some cases 6-foot deep chamber, and a foot of cover over it, 2 foot of cover. So your infiltration has to be done at a depth of 7 feet. And a lot of these sites are coming in with groundwater at a depth of 7 feet. So infiltration's never going to work when you're putting the chambers in groundwater. So that seems to be a comment as the project proceeds. We'll look at it as the project proceeds. We'll look at it. And when it gets looked at, it ends up involving a complete and total redesign of your stormwater. So I really think you need to take a look at that sooner than later.
Yeah, the difficulty we have on this site especially is they've got kids running around all day long, and to dig a hole 7 feet deep to do a test with the kids running around is problematic.
Yeah.
So we try to avoid it until we have to. Maybe we can find some time when they're not in school. So
Yeah.
we'll look into it.
Okay. I think we're still waiting for some other agency comments, things of that sort. I think the erosion sediment control plan may be lacking a few additional details, including silt storage. So the comments, I think, are fairly technical. The project is fairly detailed. So, I mean, excluding where we are with the traffic on the traffic study, I don't have any objection to moving this to the planning board.
I have a couple questions.
Okay.
Is the fire department aware of the 4th floor being added to building 1? And is there a note on this proposal somewhere that you're adding standpipes?
The note about the standpipes is not on there yet, but that was part of my discussion with the fire department on Friday. That it will be there.
Okay.
I'll make sure that gets on there.
And where are you going to run the standpipes? In the stairwells at both ends of the building?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what they asked for. They also asked for a combined connection, but for the sprinklers and the standpipes.
So you're gonna put two fire connections outside the building, one to feed the standpipes and one, or you're gonna sign me?
They asked for a combined, they called it a combined, which would be used for both, one connection for both.
Okay,
Is that a Siamese? Is that what you called a Siamese?
yeah, it is. They both.
Yeah, because they called it a combined when I was there.
Okay. And the, I know I've asked multiple times for this drawing to be updated. There's, on the cul-de-sac that you have, once you go over the box culvert, there's 3 existing, looks like they could be tents, sheds, whatever they are. There's an actual new building there. Could you update the drawing to show that building? Because it's a steel building, it's not a shed.
I was unaware it was there, so yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Where exactly is that, Lou?
Yeah,
When you go where it says, where you go over the culvert into the circular area, it's straight back from, it's north of that L, where it says that L circle, those 3 little buildings that say existing.
Yeah,
Apparently there's a steel building there now. The permit was supplied to me after I discussed it with the rabbi.
I'll provide the information for Rhonda.
Thank you.
okay.
That's about it.
okay. So Suzanne, when are we looking for a planning board meeting?
I'll be honest with you.
You always are.
August 19th is the deadline for September 26th, but I have so many for the August planning board agenda. 4 items have been apprised that they probably won't be heard and will go to the September, and I already have 4 continuances for September. I'm not saying not to submit, I just don't know where you'll land on the agenda based on the previous continuances. The next meeting deadline is September 16th for October 31st.
Halloween.
Yes. It's a week later, I think, because of the holidays. So that's where we're at. I mean, that's 4 days from now, so I don't know. If you want to try, that's up to you.
Rhonda, was this submittal not for planning as well? We need to submit something else?
Well, they're gonna want to see the notes and stuff, so we'll submit, we'll add the notes.
And you have to add the thing that Lou just asked for, that change
Right.
from the shed to whatever the building. And I actually did resend the updated site plan to the traffic engineer and reminded him, I actually just got the contract for the mayor to sign, so I know it's in play. So I'll ask him, I'll tell him we need it sooner than later. I'll remind him today.
I'm sorry, what's the date of the September meeting, Suzanne?
September 26th, and the
Okay.
meeting after that is October 31st.
All right, see what happens.
So you'll be,
Anything else, folks?
Not for me.
No?
Not for me.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
okay, thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank
Take care,
you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, everybody.
Bye.
All right, take care.